In this video,
we're going to talk about the top 5 things we love
about the Philippines.
Stay tuned. So before we get into our top 5 today, I just want to kind of set the table a little bit. You know, in previous videos, I talked about the different types of people there are in the world, according to Wilma and myself, makers and takers. I've explained that in the past. I got a lot of feedback from you guys about that. So another way of explaining it is people are either optimistic or they're pessimistic. Either the glass is half full or the glass is half empty. So even myself, I struggle with that. I try so very hard to be optimistic. And Wilma does a real good job with that. And I think the 2 years I've been here, I'm much more on the side of being an optimist as compared to a pessimist. But it does take time. And a lot of people don't even realize that they're a pessimist. And they just go through life with the glass half empty. I'll give you an example. I just did a video not too long ago, Wilma and I, about the top 5 things that frustrates us. Okay, so I started this series with being a pessimist. I did the pessimistic video before the optimistic video. So that even tells you that I have work that I need to do on myself, because it's very important, I believe, to look at the world in a positive light, not a negative light. And even I are guilty of it, because the first video that I did was about our frustrations and not the things that we love. So let's get into our top 5. So our number 5 is there's more freedom in the Philippines. And that may come across as a little bit controversial, but let me explain it. You guys know that I'm from the U.S., and I try to use the word home country or first world country and not always say the U.S., but my experiences are all in the U.S., but it can relate to any first world country. But how much freedom do you really have in your first world country? Are you a slave to your job? How much debt do you have? When Wilma and I lived in the U.S., we owned a house, but we really didn't own it. We had a mortgage.
Yeah.
So, we always said we owned our own home. Well, that's not necessarily true. Yeah, we bought a home. We put, our 20% down, and we were paying our mortgage, on time every month, but we truly didn't own it. We had credit cards. How many people out there have tremendous debt? So how much freedom do you really have? And then let's not even get into politics or religion, where if someone has an opinion, you get attacked for that opinion, either on social media or face to face. You see it all the time, and it seems to be getting worse every year. And that is another reason why we are living in the Philippines. Obviously not the main reason, but a reason. So here, we believe that we have much more freedom.
Definitely, a lot more.
Yeah, and the reason for that is, one, it's a cash society. So all the people around us, all the locals, they may not have much. They may have a small home, but they own the land that they live on. All their garden and all the fruit trees, their scooter that they have. And a lot of families up here don't even own a scooter, but they own everything outright. So is it a very quiet and small life? Yes, but it's stress-free. The only thing they have to worry about is putting food on the table.
Yeah, but they manage to enjoy life and live the freedom.
Yeah. So for us here, we believe that we have more freedom. We get up in the morning. We don't have to go to work. We can do what we want. We can travel freely. We can enjoy our lives. We can buy what we want within reason. Obviously, we have a budget. You guys know that we're very big on the budget. We built, which we consider this a modest home. It's a very nice home, but we own everything outright and we are just enjoying life. So we feel that we have more freedom now being retired in the Philippines than we ever did in the US, because we're always on that hamster wheel, on the go, trying to move ahead, trying to be ambitious, more, more, more. So is that really freedom? I don't think so. So number 5 on our list is there's more freedom in the Philippines. All right, so number 4 is the tropical feel. Boy, I really love living in the tropics. So what I mean by that is just how the terrain here looks. We look out, we see a beautiful ocean, we see coconut trees, palm trees, flowers everywhere, just that tropical feel. We love it very much, and you grew up with that.
Yes, in Ireland, of Leyte.
Yeah, so just we really love getting up every morning, and when we drive around, taking a look at the sights. There's beautiful mountains so close to us. You guys know it's right behind us, but yet we turn around and we can see an ocean. So our number 4 that we definitely enjoy here and love in the Philippines is that tropical look. All right, our number 3 is cost of living.
Definitely.
That's a big one, guys.
Yes.
And that's why it made our number 3.
Yes.
We could not, Wilma and I, retire at the age that we did back in our home country. We just didn't have enough money to do so. I would probably have to work till I was 62 or maybe even 65 to have enough money set aside and start getting my Social Security, for example. So the cost of living here in the Philippines is very favorable to foreigners. I'll give you an example. This morning we woke up and the ratio from the Philippine peso to the American dollar is 57-1. So that's a very, very good number.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're thinking about moving here, this is the time. We did all our budgeting on 50-1.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's 57-1, when we transfer money to the Philippines and then have it go into our dollar account, and then we transfer it over to our peso account, we're making 7 pesos per dollar. That's 14 cents. That's 14%. So we're making 14% on our money just by transferring it. So very, very important to understand that. And the cost of living here is very good.
It's definitely a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Especially for us because we use a dollar
Right.
converted to peso.
Correct. So having that very favorable ratio of peso to dollar has helped us. And the cost of living here is just cheaper. It's a cash society, so everything is done for the most part in cash. And a lot of people here don't even have bank accounts. All our neighbors, they don't even have bank accounts. They make their money and then they save what they can and then they use it for their goods, for that day and for that week and for that month. So our number 3 things we love about the Philippines is lower cost of living. All right, our number 2, the weather.
Definitely the weather.
Oh, wow. That's why it made our number 2, guys.
No more snow.
The weather here in the Philippines is just so fantastic. Being so close to the equator, being in the tropics, if you're a person who likes summer, if you're a person who likes warm weather, or can you say hot weather?
Hot weather.
Living in a tropical island is for you. Now, is there challenges? Of course there is. There's high humidity. You have to worry about typhoons, but there's typhoons and hurricanes all over the world. And luckily, where we live in Negros Oriental, there's very few direct hits for typhoons. That's just the way it is. And that was one of the reasons, there was many, why we moved to this area, because of the lack of big, heavy typhoons that directly hit this island.
Yeah, none like Leyte or Luzon area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the storms come from the east into like the Samar area,
Some are always.
Leyte, and then they usually turn north and go up towards Luzon. Sometimes they come straight across, go through Mindanao, which is south of us. Again, I'll say it again, there is times where typhoons hit this area, but it is very rare, so that's why it attracted us to this area. But having summer year-round is something that's very attractive to us,
Yeah.
and probably very attractive to you as well. You know, right now it's in the 80s, the sun is in and out, we have the ocean breeze. It's like that year-round. And I do want to throw into this comment, I don't think enough YouTubers who are thinking about building a home or have a channel gauged on where to live in the Philippines talk about elevation enough. And I've talked about it occasionally on my channel, but more and more people who visit our homes said, Greg, you need to talk about it more. So I want to throw that in there. You know, when you get up around 500 meters of elevation, it's a game changer.
Definitely.
We're 640 meters above sea level.
A lot cooler.
The humidity is cut in half, guys. You know, you got the ocean breeze. It's just so much cooler that you really don't have to worry about that dreaded heat that you probably will experience, or you do experience if you're here now, if you're at sea level. So there's nothing wrong with living at sea level, but if you're a type of person who don't like to sweat all day long, now if you live right on the beach, that's a little different.
Yeah.
Just because you get that real close onshore breeze, and you know, you're gonna be in pretty good shape. But if you're a block or two off, or if you're in like downtown Dumaguete, it's just brutal.
Can be very hot.
Yeah, very, very hot. So the weather here is summer year round. Very, very positive thing for us. Would be positive for you as well if you like the warm weather. So our number 2 things that we love about the Philippines is the weather.
The weather.
All right, so now we're down to number 1. The number 1 thing we love about the Philippines. Do you guys know what it is? Are you thinking, trying to guess what it is? It's the people.
The people.
Guys, I can't say it enough. And it's hard for someone who's never visited the Philippines to know about it. Maybe you've done research, you watch a lot of YouTube videos. It doesn't do it justice. The people here, I'm talking about the locals. The people here are so friendly. Now, is 100% of the population friendly? No.
No.
Is there issues with people, fighting, and is there crime and murders? Yes. But I'm talking about the vast majority of people. What I always say to Wilma, hey, go back to where I came from New York. Go to 100 random people you don't know, just random 100 people. Try to strike up a conversation. And if you do have a conversation, tell me how it goes. Did the person actually talk to you, yes or no? And were they complaining the whole time? Were they a pessimist, for example? Now come here and talk to 100 random people. Guys, it would be staggering, absolutely staggering. Most people that live in this area are relatively poor. But when you have a conversation with them, they're smiling.
Optimist.
They're optimists.
Yes.
They're laughing.
Very positive about life.
Very, very positive. When you have a conversation with somebody, and Wilma and I do this all the time, we try to only surround ourselves with good people. We do our best. And how do we do that? When you first have the first 5 minutes of conversation with somebody, did they rattle off 10 things that they hate about the area? Or did they talk about how they're enjoying their life? So if you meet somebody here for the first time, now I'm talking about an expat, and they're saying, it's too hot. Oh, I got scammed. Oh, this, oh, that. Well, obviously that's not the person you want to surround yourself with. But the people here, the locals, they're so happy, friendly, engaging, helpful. They really go out of their way to try to help you.
Yeah, like our neighbor. She has a garden, and she come down here, always bring me a lot of vegetables.
That's a good example.
Yeah, it's a good example.
Yeah, our neighbor right behind us
Yes.
has a nice little garden. I did a video a long time ago on their home. And if you would go back in the playlist and look for that, it would be really something to see. It's a very small home. They're actually living in a piggery, dirt floor, very, very poor family. Now the good news is they're in the process of building, and you can see it right behind us to the left. They put a roof on a little concrete structure. They're starting to do some construction. We have a surprise for them that we just
Yes.
picked up some items for them. We do everything we can to try to help them, to try to better their life. But they live in a dirt floor. And like Wilma just said, just the other day, she comes around to the gate saying, "Ayo," and bring a whole bag of vegetables for us.
Vegetable and fruit,
And
banana,
fruit and
that
bananas.
she grows in her backyard.
Just
Yeah.
fantastic. So having good neighbors is so important, and we're lucky to have good neighbors.
Yeah.
So the people is what brought me to this island. People ask me all the time, why did you retire to the Philippines? It was that I was running to the Philippines, not away from the United States. I try to even keep that positive. So when someone asks me, did you leave the United States because you were upset or you didn't want to live there no more? No, I moved to the Philippines, not away from the United States. Do I have my issues? Of course, I think a lot of people do. But I came here, and I said this on a video that I did with another expat when I got asked the question. The people is what drew me here. Every time I visited, all the way back in 2004, early 2005, I said, oh my God, the people here are amazing. And then every time I visited, the 4 times that I visited before we decided to retire here full time, I said, how could you go wrong living in a country where everybody that we encounter are so nice?
Yeah.
We go shopping and people want to push our cart. They want to load our groceries in our car. Now, of course, we give them a little tip.
Yes.
But a lot of the stores today will not allow the workers to take a tip. So City Hardware is an example. We'll go to the hardware store and I'll order 3 gallons of paint, and I go to pick it up and they're like, no, I'll carry it out to your car. And then I try to give them a tip and they're like, I can't take it. There's cameras here. I'm sorry. Have a nice day. And they just walk away.
They like their job, so they don't want to get in trouble.
Right, right. So that is our number one, guys. Our number one reason why we love the Philippines and why we retired to the Philippines is the people.